AI negotiation technology is an emerging field that is transforming how businesses approach negotiations. The tech analyzes historical contracts and market data to establish baselines and identify trends, while also extracting relevant information from contracts using natural language processing. The end result is crafting winning negotiation strategies, and large companies are deploying chatbots to conduct negotiations, and some individuals may even use AI to settle disputes. Well, Pactum AI is a company that specializes in this autonomous negotiation space. And joining me this morning at the New York Stock Exchange is President Martin Rand. Martin, thank you so much for joining me.
Good to be on the show, Remy.
Well, first and foremost, we hear a lot about the use cases of artificial intelligence, but when it comes to negotiation, give our viewers an understanding of how this technology works.
So the new wave of development in AI technologies is agent-based technologies. And our software works as an autonomous agent, which reaches out to suppliers of very large companies like Walmart, Maersk, and the largest CPG companies, the largest banks. And they have 100,000 vendors. People can't take care of all of the vendors, so we negotiate with 80% of such vendors. And now agent-based technologies are the new wave of development in AI. We have recently seen Microsoft, Salesforce, and many other companies unveil their AI agent platforms. Of course, we have been doing that for 5 years already, so we have many excellent examples of value creation that this can bring.
And when we think about our viewers who might be utilizing their smartphones and even at this moment conversing with one of these agents, give us an understanding of the implications in terms of advancements for this type of innovation.
The biggest implication of that is that large enterprises are able to adjust strategy very rapidly, as if a large tanker could turn with the speed of a speedboat. And I could bring you some examples. So one large distributor reached out to us and said that we have no idea what's going on with 80% of our spend, because the contracts are stored in the folders of category managers on their computers. So there's no baseline data to negotiate with. We built a negotiation that first established the baseline, found out the payment terms and the line item prices, then started negotiating, and at the end of the day, the company got 80% of their supplier deals renegotiated on better deals and contracted cadence of renegotiations coming up. So that's just one example of value creation.
And you mentioned an example when it comes to spend management, but I'm sure there are also other use cases when it comes to creating value. And when we think about traditional human negotiations, we know some of the tactics that are involved, but when we're talking about artificial intelligence, constantly incorporating new strategies, new approaches, and also new use cases, tell me what this means for the future of this technology.
Correct. There is a constant trial and error going on in those negotiations, and it learns. An example I could bring is that a very large reseller came to us and said, hey, we would like to improve working capital and profitability at the same time. The problem is that payment terms were already maxed out. So our system then found out that hold on, goods at hand were different for each vendor. So actually it was able to negotiate very favorable payment terms for the vendors whose goods moved rapidly through the distribution centers, and longer payment terms for the others. And as a result of these favorable payment terms, it was able to trade discounts, allowances, and rebates, and we were able to improve working capital and profitability at the same time.
And Martin, finally, before I let you go, I do want to hear about some projects that you may be working on, because when you think about the use cases for technology like this, I'm sure you're hearing from a lot of clients. What are they asking for right now?
So they are more and more looking into how can automatic agents shift strategy and aid in strategy focus. So a large logistics company saw that as agents were negotiating their short-term spot rate trucking contracts and long-term contracts, they were actually able to shift business between short-term and long-term contracts as the economy demanded that. So if the Suez Canal is backed up and there is a glut of trucking services, they were able to shift spot rate deals into long-term favorable contracts. And I think this we will be seeing more and more coming up with these agent-based technologies.
Well, Martin, it was a fascinating topic, and we can think of potential applications, especially as the longshoremen strike negotiations continue and their concerns about the supply chain. So thank you so much for sharing your insights and for telling us a little bit more about this technology.
Thanks for having me on the show.
My pleasure.